Good morning and happy Sunday. Welcome to my basement. We had a big storm last night, so T's been up, so I'm letting her sleep. So I had the pleasure of reconnecting with an old friend yesterday who has gone through very significant events in their life. Difficult, very trying, we all have our story, right? And some stories are more severe than other stories. And it kind of blended with everything that I've been talking about all week. And how do we use our story in a way that's positive? But as I've talked about, you've also got to divorce yourself from your story in order to move on with your life. So let's try to think about the big picture. On Sundays, we think about the big picture. So I've had the pleasure of meeting two Holocaust survivors. That was on my bucket list, and I was lucky enough to go to the Museum of Tolerance in Los Angeles, which if you ever get a chance to go to, you have to go. It's incredible. And I met two different Holocaust survivors. And these are people, Auschwitz, Dachau, the real deal. The tattoo on the arm, the whole bit. And when you talk to them, they tell their story only to make sure that the events that happened don't ever happen again. And I really wonder if there weren't people around saying, "Oh, this didn't happen. This was all made up," and blah. If there weren't people around saying those types of things, I'm not sure how much they really would go out and tell their story, because you can tell as soon as you meet them that they don't have hate, they don't have ill will in their hearts at all. And I think that's one of the things that's made it so they've been able to live long and happy lives. Once they got out of that experience, they made sure that their story was documented for sure. But their lives were all looking forward. Their lives were all, how do we put our community back together after these events? And it wasn't just about their particular life. It was about the entire Jewish community and how can we bring that back together? Where can we go live? Where can we go thrive and build what's been taken away? And in that respect, then, the obligation came to pay things forward, right? The obligation came to pay forward the lessons that they had learned. And so I guess I would offer you this as a thought. Whatever event you've gone through, there's people that have gone through worse, and there's certainly people that have had life that's easy. As Elton John said in his song, some people breeze through life and some people have to live with the scars. That's the way that it is. My belief is that whatever the challenges are that are sent to you, they're sent to you because you're able to handle them and you're able to use them to forge you into the person that you can actually be. But then you've got to look at yourself and realize that once you've survived those things, then you're a miracle. You're a miracle that you've been able to get through that. And one of the great ways to celebrate that is not just share that with your kids, but to share that with others. That through those periods, you've learned distinctions and ways to manage your particular situation, and you can then go help other people try to manage that same type of situation. The story that I told the other day that they talk about in Alcoholics Anonymous, the guy that falls into the hole, the other guy says, "I know the way out." If you've gone through real tragedy in your life and you're now on the other side, even though you might not feel that you're on the other side, if you've survived, then you're on the other side. You can utilize that information to help other people. And that, to me, is truly a great way to turn some of that negative consequences that you had to deal with into something positive. If you can take that knowledge, and quite frankly, people are going to get wrapped up in, well, I'm not a good speaker, I'm not a good sharer. You don't have to be. If somebody is starting that journey and you can merely look at them and say, I've been through this, and here I am, and I'm still standing, and I'm still doing things, and I survived, you can too. Just that presence of you can get through this, and I can show you how, is more than anybody could ever hope for in terms of communication. Because coaches and therapists and all of, they can tell those people 1,000 times, look, you're going to be able to get through this. But it doesn't really have the impact, even a minute fraction of the impact of somebody that's actually been through that event, looking at them and say, you can get through this. I didn't think I could. I didn't have any special skills. I'm not anything spectacular, but I got through this. And the reality is if you get through it, you are something spectacular. So my offering on Sunday is, what is it that is your superpower? What is it that you are a miracle about? What is it that you survived and have learned, hopefully, how to thrive? And whatever that is, share it. Find somebody else who is in that situation, just beginning that journey, and connect with them and show them that they're going to be able to get through that journey and they're going to be able to survive, that this is going to work out. Be a mentor to somebody that needs this type of guidance, even if it's just by phone, even if it's just by a communication over a Facebook Messenger. I think in person is always the best, but be a mentor, because not only will you be helping somebody else, but you'll also be helping yourself, because you're now going to change the meaning of that event to something. Now it's going to start to turn to something a little bit more positive. And who knows? You might do one, and then you might do another, and then you might do another, and then you might do another. And before you know it, now that event has helped many others. That's how Mothers Against Drunk Driving got started. That's how Amber Alerts got started. Those are all people that had nothing spectacularly special about them, meaning they were not CEOs, they were not significantly wealthy, they were not significantly educated, they were not politically connected, but they had a massive tragedy in their life, and they took that tragedy and decided to make a difference. And boy, did they. You know, if Mothers Against Drunk Driving, when that started, the restaurant community and the bar community had tremendous power resisting changes in the DUI laws, and said, if there's changes in the DUI laws, we will all go bust. You're talking about millions of jobs that will go away. And in the 1970s, the DUI level in Illinois was a 0.15. You were not considered legally intoxicated until you were above a 0.15. And after 10 o'clock, the rule was the roads are reserved for the drunks. There were no DUIs after 10 o'clock. The lady that started Mothers Against Drunk Driving lost a child. She was a stay-at-home mom. She lost a child to a drunk driver and made a decision that that event was going to have a more significant meaning. And she went on a crusade to change the DUI laws in her state, and she ended up changing the DUI laws in the entire country. And not only that, she shifted the consciousness of the country, so that instead of people arguing against DUIs were called teetotalers, now it became anybody who drinks and drives is not only wrong, but a bad person with bad judgment. And that conscious shift all started because somebody made a decision they're going to take a horrible event and turn it into something that had a positive impact on others. So my offering to you, whatever it is that you've survived, because we've all survived something, how can you help others by using that experience that you've had to pay it forward? Because it's going to help them and it's going to help you. Have a great Sunday, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.